A different type of space exploration. A different type of space exploration. Based on prophecy, one brave soul takes the challenge and flies off into deep space. That, or he does psychedelic drugs. Wait, no. Audiences can handle two distinct timelines / realities introductorily. So he's the same guy, but he goes through two different experiences, creating, of course, two powerful realities wherein he or she is about to experience greatly confusing but intense situations, causing the audience to be unsure of which is the primary or the other, which is dysentery. Fueled by completely different build-ups. Costumes, setting, and character differences will be highly important to distinguishing between these two forces. One brave soul takes the challenge and flies off into deep space. The other version of events has him being more personally involved with the prophecy and subsequent acquisition of said psychedelically infused chemicals. Either way, in one version, he's tried for his people's ignorance, and the other tried for his own. In both cases, he is met by this alien experience where the ship or his bedroom begin to communicate to him by merit of hallucinatory visual and audio dementia. These beings do not have a body. In fact, they are as close to God's image as we have ever encountered. Existing through the entire lifespan of any known forms of life, these beings have long rested and existed, having little part in the organic or created beings that stay around. They make references to other alien cultures, which also have bodies and cultural history, but little is ever truly shown or known about any of the other alien beings in question. Psychedelic out-of-body, Ebenezer Scrooge-like situation where he's shown taking the chemicals, but being dead in the first timeline. The prophecy, They overpack this guy with 10 to 1,000 times the amount of 10 times the food, 1,000 times the water, and 100 times the energy. The prophecy gave exact specifications, and the humans interpreted this as a sign of challenge, maybe in disbelief of the precise and wholly intricate nature of the prophecy. It's hard to say, but exists mostly as a convenient message to the wise of the wasteful and inefficient nature of the current human civilization. Rachel's companion. So, Rachel exists in the resultant or similar universe that Frank does, the guy who goes into space. Basically, he actually gets captured by alien beings, and they have faculties beyond our comprehension. They search and find his entire genetic line through contact and are able to start affecting our entire reality. They at first then create alien beings. Two kinds, Greys and Tentacle Heads, which, of the two, the Tentacle Heads, they have a war with us. The one race has a war with us. Affectionately called Tentacle Heads, these beings resemble Cthulhu and decide the appropriate manner of first contact is with a military organization. The Greys, existing primarily in stealth ships around our galaxy, but their appearance creates fear and panic in the soldiers, and one man, or three, opens fire, in essence declaring war on behalf of his country. Eventually, these supreme alien beings get the Greys to create pods that can force the human mind to recreate or create its own containment for unimaginable amounts of time, each death in the pod bringing about a mind wipe and a rebirth of the same existence, but each one changing or staying the same depending on the person. In essence, a possibility amplifier or runtime iteration machine. This machine creates the situation for nightmarish possibility. They convince a man to take responsibility for the creation and fabrication of these beings, allegedly top secret information and technology used to stage abductions and the reality of alien life. And for all intents and purposes, it would be shot and delivered as legitimate a press conference as could be created. You wouldn't tell the difference. Narrative over top of the conference. Life is what you make of it. But real human life was the shared knowledge, the valid, perceptual amalgamation of all perspectives and realities. Now, they made this man single-handedly affect the world in an unforgettable way. Generations told a falsity that would change the very outcome of destiny. Rachel's companion, where was I? Yes. This guy, I don't know his name yet, believes in a number of secret government technologies. At a distance listening, pointed microphones, 360-degree cameras that can exist as anything in your home. At first, they go with portraits or picture frames, to be classy. Eventually moving on to desks, for practicality's sake, and then deciding to go with dirt because, dust. Eventually there's the famous mustard stain camera, and eventually air molecules. Near undetectable sub-auditory messages. Subliminal as opposed to the nefarious and actual messages that celebrities, advertising companies, educational and industry perpetuating lifestyles accomplish, for better or for worse. Androids, sleeper androids. It's a type of android that doesn't know that it's a sleeper. Or it doesn't know it's an android until it's woken up. Projection technology and the holy grail, the replicator or self-replicator. It can replicate any synthetic material object infinitely at no cost, seemingly powered by nothing. He also believes that gasoline and fuel industry execs are aware that their product is microchemically altered to save on the expensive stuff and basically allows for most cars to run on hydrogen and oxygen while forcing consumers to pay out the nose. And teleportation. Personal teleportation. And a weather machine. They affect dreams, and they have an outcome generator. Nicks, cuts, trips, slips, falls, bruises, and some of the worst pilots and engineers to ever exist could barely keep up, and generally couldn't use the machine for more than 1 or 2 steps ahead of the single person they were affecting. Moving things around and ultimately mind control. Dun, dun, dun. This is where it gets fun. This just in. Wikipedia, science fiction, films, my family, my entire life, conveniently availing to some close approximation of opportunity for and to foster this whole shit? OMG, too much conspiracy sauce. Thank God I love weed. Oh, I mean alcohol. Family? Yes, French. What the fuck is going on? All the things. Wait. I still appreciate and adore video games and new media making. But then there's the artistic involvement of the ego or self-assurance through merit of the expression of one's work or industry, which I intuitively argue is a sign of immaturity. You shouldn't need to express or accomplish anything through the merit of society's lens or perspective to feel wholly, completely fulfilled and worthwhile, successful. Do you, be you, and work for your communities. But what if your community, again, conveniently prescribed, preordained, and in essence exists only in relative terms of what fake can be? Does everything suddenly lose all worth? The Twilight Zone episode version of my idea is do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. A video game programmer is the alien-like demon as he forces his creations to do and act in his bidding like a god. Eventually, his demonic features dissipate and he slowly becomes the mortal, fragile, and impotent man that he is. What? I was just on the PC. Words that Rachel's companion use. Psychoacoustics and psychophysics. You can look those up. Quick note, just for me. Seamless abduction and the Cold War candidate. Frank's assassination. The final moments before his death. The reason for reason. The universe exists because he exists. He exists because the universe exists. The reason for reason.